welcome to another weekly edition of GNY Sports. That's Good News York Sports, a side quest of our current events comedy news podcast, Good News York, which airs Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern on all socials at Good News York, goodnewsyork.com. I am your host, Mike Brindisi, and you can follow me on all socials at Mike B TV. And as always, starting the top of the show with my Bills rant or rave. And I got to tell you, I'm going through it. As I said last week during the Bills funeral episode, I am trying so hard to disconnect myself from the Bills. I did the knee-jerk thing where I bagged up all of my Bills clothes and threw them in a garbage bag next to the garage door. I've never done that before, but as I said on that last episode, it was just... this loss just felt different for a lot of Bills fans, especially the old school fans that have gone through decades of hell. But I know I didn't publicly say I'm giving up on the Bills. I'm not. Look, I love the Bills. They'll always be my team. I just felt like I just need to emotionally detach a little bit because it is not good for my mental health. But at the same time, I thought, let's just take a break at least. I haven't been watching my normal football shows. I've been checking in on Bills radio just to see the updates to get some closure for the season. But my feed, my algorithm, it is pumped full of Bills stuff. So I can't avoid it. But the good news is it's keeping me in the know. And it's keeping me, and this show is keeping me from completely disconnecting because I love this show. And I love being here with you. You got to understand that being a Bills fan is like repeatedly just punching yourself in the groin, like with an occasional orgasm, but then just right back at it. So just, go easy on me. So right now, as I'm recording this, the press conference for Joe Brady as the new head coach is tomorrow at noon. And this is, I got to tell you, they hire Joe Brady, they promote from within after they're like, hey, we had to fire Sean McDermott because we hit the playoff wall. We need to get over that hump. Ladies and gentlemen, let's introduce part of that hump. I've never seen such a unanimous reaction. Usually on social media when something happens in the NFL or specifically with a fan base, there's a consensus, but then there's always the people that give it the opposite. I have never seen a collaborative what the fuck like I have with Joe Brady as the hire. And I think it's less about Joe Brady and more about the confusion of what the hell is going on. Right now, as we kind of thought after the last press conference with Bean and Pagula, the owner and GM, it just smells like Teen Spirit. ADD. It just smells fishy, right? And the thing is, it is getting more and more clear, especially now that they've promoted within, that this is more about people not digging McDermott, whether that's his coaching or his personality. Something's up because he's the odd man out. It is pretty clear. Other guys are going. Aaron Cromer, huge part of the Bills coaching staff. He's retiring. Bobby Babich is going, which I'm great with. But the point is, it just seems like, and I'll refer to a tweet that Jerry Hughes, if you remember Jerry Hughes, former defensive end for the Bills, just blatantly opened up on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, that after the 13 seconds game, he personally knew Sean McDermott wasn't serious and that he wasn't the guy. And it started making me think, maybe this has been more of the feeling that's been going on in that locker room since 13 seconds. And I start thinking a little bit more about it. And I had this thought. Now, I am just vomiting thoughts like most of us are because we are so confused about what the hell just happened this last 2 weeks. I feel like Chris Farley in whether it's Black Sheep or Tommy Boy, I get them mixed up, where he's falling down the hill and he grabs on little roots. And then he falls and he spins and he hits and he stands up and he goes, what the hell was that all about? That's what this has felt like. So I'm just vomiting thoughts, trying to wrap my head around what's going on. And here's what I've come up with. No proof of it. It's just a feeling. What if the Bills are holding on to Joe Brady for two reasons? One, because maybe they actually do feel like we had a Super Bowl caliber team and McDermott's the one that's been holding us back. And maybe the reason they failed. And then two, what if they think that Brandy, great singer. What if Brady can lure a one Justin Jefferson, wide receiver for the Vikings? Now, there had been some grumblings on social media, whether you trust it or not. I don't know. I think in the last offseason or during the season that maybe Justin Jefferson wasn't happy in Minnesota. Makes sense. And so I think that's what kind of started my wheels turning that way. But I also thought, listen, Bean has got a lot of repairing to do with the fan base. And he clearly knows, not just the fan base, I'm sure himself, he knows wide receiver has been the biggest bone of contention with him. And wouldn't that be amazing to land a top tier wide? I think the Bills, what they need to do, they need to keep Shakir Palmer. They have to anyway. You know, keep some sort of core wide receivers. And then you need to trade or sign a top tier wide receiver and then draft two more. Something like that, in or around that area. Because, as I said, it is the biggest problem, one of the biggest problems that the Bills have had. And here's the thing. Why did I just do that? Did I do a Trump? Ugh, what am I doing? Here's the thing. I have no problem with the receivers we had if they had been in different roles. I love Shakir as a number 2 or 3 slot guy. I love Brandon Cooks as a 2 or 3 power slot or can come outside to the boundary. I love Joshua Palmer as a number 3 like he was in San Diego or what is it now? Los Angeles. So if you keep some of those guys, some you have to, and put them in the roles that they're supposed to be in, it's a little bit different. And then you get a Justin Jefferson. Now, why do I think that Brady could lure Justin Jefferson? Because he was Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase's coach at LSU when he was, I think, it was either wide receivers coach or passing game coordinator. There's a million different ways you can spin that title. So maybe, just maybe, the Bills are keeping Brady because there's a comfort level, there's a continuity with the offense. Screen pass, tunnel screen, run up the middle, screen pass. And maybe they believe that it's getting clearer and clearer, the pointing the finger at Sean McDermott, and that maybe he's what needed to go. And now you're hearing grumblings also from former players of like, he was very strict. Like you score a touchdown, you hand it to the lineman because you wouldn't do that if you wouldn't have scored that touchdown without him, which I love. It's admirable. And that's what I loved about Sean McDermott. He was very militant. You know, they've gone on record, the media's gone on record saying in some of these meetings, he would pull out a calendar and he would have his day planned out in 15-minute increments. I love that. I think that's endearing. But I also think that when you're coaching 50, however many players on a roster, that doesn't always fly. So maybe they need a new approach. The reason I'm thinking about this whole Brady thing being promoted to coach is, with Justin Jefferson, is I just had this unexplained feeling about Jefferson coming over. And I know this sounds silly. I'm very good at judging character. I'm very good at just assessing situations. And Josh Allen has had a very peculiar body language the last few seasons, like something's off. And you could chalk it up to, the first time I saw it a few years back, I was like, oh, this is when he was breaking up with his weird ex and before Haley came along. So there was some drama in the media. He's having some personal problems. Then the Diggs drama happened and I saw the same body language. And then this season in particular, where supposedly there was no drama to have been reported, he just had that same kind of demeanor. And there's no way for us to know what that is. But if you are psycho like me and follow the team as closely as I do and others do, you see it. And it's starting to make me wonder, was he part of that crew that just never recovered from the 13 seconds blunder? Maybe McDermott is the head of the snake, and I do not compare McDermott to a snake. He's an amazing person, an amazing coach. But as a metaphor, they say the head of this, maybe this is what they needed. Because that team was never the same. You know, it reminds me, and this is going to go over your head if you didn't watch the Walking Dead series. The Walking Dead series pissed me off because the ending really had no closure. And they dragged it on way too long. And I just feel like, if you remember, there was a certain main, you know, I'm not going to spoiler alert. The show's been off for years. If you haven't watched it, that's your own fault. When Negan kills Glenn, one of the most incredible episodes of television I remember watching, a true like, holy shit moment. That was the climax. That was 13 seconds for the Bills. And after that episode and the seasons following it, it just never was the same. We never got the closure of them finally going after Negan and destroying the dragon, Mahomes, and just finally getting that closure. In fact, no, they made it so that Negan became part of the crew and he was hanging out with Maggie, and it just was too much. They dragged it out too long, and maybe that's what they did with Sean McDermott. One thing that does concern me, though, and I talked about this previously in one of my Bills rants, receiver production, not all, but a good sample size of receiver production has dropped under Joe Brady's offense. From Ken Dorsey, from Dable to Dorsey to Joe Brady, guys like Diggs. Diggs' production dropped near the end, so that when he left, we were kind of like, well, he dropped the pass. He hadn't had many yards in the last few games. That was because Joe Brady took over. Josh Palmer, big dip. A lot of it injury, yes, but a big dip in production. Shakir. So everybody's got this, I don't know what this is, that it's like Allen hasn't been unleashed yet and Joe Brady's going to do it. Well, if Joe Brady was going to do it, why didn't he do it already? I know he didn't have the receivers. So that's more of a Bean problem. So why are we pointing to McDermott? But now people are saying that maybe McDermott had more of a say on the offense and that Joe Brady was running the offense as McDermott wanted it. I find that hard to believe, but at this point, I don't know. Why not? It makes some sort of sense. So we'll see what happens. Why? Here's another thing. Why does it always look so? This is actually a legit question. Maybe I should put it up as a poll. I don't know. When I watch the Bills offense, not just this season, even in the past, when they had better pieces, it feels like Allen has to work, and the whole offense just has to work so hard to get a first down and to get a touchdown and to knock my desk over. And I just assumed that that's football, right? You know, top tier defenses on a weekly basis, top tier athletes. And it didn't hit me until I watched the Patriots this year. And this is not, I'm not doing the bitter, like, you had an easy schedule and Drake May threw 86 yards in the AFC Championship. You know, I'm not going to be petty and bitter like that. But what I'm saying is, if the Patriots, if you watch the Patriots, everything seems easy. Drake May can just throw for 86 yards and 2 interceptions, whatever it was, and it's fine. It's fine. And they beat and played against 3 of the top defenses in the NFL. So I don't understand. And they arguably might have some better pieces on offense. Not crazy different. So it's like, what? You got to point to the offensive coordinator. So I don't know. It just feels like watching the Buffalo Bills offense is like watching somebody like move a couch up 3 flights of stairs, and then Drake May and the Patriots grab their couch. They just hop in an elevator. You know, it's wild. And here's another thing that sucks if you're a Bills fan. I mean, it could not be any worse. I've talked about how, you know, the Patriots are the bullies for 20-something years, and all of a sudden they come back, and in their second year with Drake May, they just not only steal the division, now they're going to the fucking Super Bowl. While Allen, going into his 9th year, 0 Super Bowl appearances. I've talked about that. But it goes even further. Because guess what? If the Patriots win, everything I just talked about happens. That's even more insane. And they did it in 2 years with a new coach and a second-year quarterback. First-year coach, actually, and a second-year quarterback. They're doing it with Diggs and Hollins, former Bills, that being traded away and one he just let walk. So if the Patriots win, that sucks. Guess what? If the Seahawks win, which is what I want, and I love Sam Darnold. Don't get me wrong. I'm rooting for Sam Darnold. That motherfucker is going to have, he already has a Super Bowl appearance before anyone else in that draft class, which he was in with Allen. And he may have the first and only Super Bowl win from somebody in that draft class. That was with Josh Allen. It's just a nightmare. And I will say this. I've already started thinking about my wish list. Bobby Babich is gone, so they're going to need a defensive coordinator. I've talked about this guy on my show. I've got a football man crush on Jim Schwartz of the Cleveland Browns. Now, he is under contract. Todd Monken just got hired as the head coach. So a lot of times those guys want to clean house, bring in their own guys. But it sounds like, from what's been reported, that they want Jim Schwartz to stay. He is under contract, but I think there's some sort of loophole where he doesn't have to. He can walk. Hello. I loved Jim Schwartz when he was on the Bills. I loved him before he was on the Bills and after he was a coach on the Bills. I think it was the Rex Ryan era he coached, or was it Marone? Either way, and they had a top 5 defense. Big Jim Schwartz fan, wide 9, love it. That would make me very happy and soften the blow on everything else that's been going on. Some free agent guys. I just want to list. I have a huge wish list that I haven't even finalized of guys that I think Bills need to go. That I think the Bills need to go after in the offseason. Here's just a few names, and I'm going to start with a punter and a kicker. You bet your ass. They need a punter. They were on their third punter of the season, and we know what happened. Tyler Bass was hurt all season, and then they brought in a 41-year-old. He got hurt. Can't rely on him. Hello, Brandon Aubrey, one of the best kickers in football. He's a free agent. Let's go. Matt Ariza. He was supposed to be the next punt god. Bills draft him, and then there's allegations of sexual misconduct. Bills release him. Come to find out, in typical Bills luck, those were fake allegations. And he went to the Chiefs, of all places. I'm telling you, being a Bills fan, it's punching yourself in the groin over and over with an occasional orgasm. So what I'm saying is we need to sign a punter, a kicker. Now, we need safety. Byard. He is a free agent from the, I'm blanking out. I believe it is either the Texans. Either way, Byard, Kyle Duggar. Safety, Tyler Lindenbaum. Let's go, from the Ravens. McGovern, he's a free agent. I would rather bring in Tyler Lindenbaum. Tutu Atwell's out there. Trey Hendrickson, defensive end. Tim Settle, bring him back. Deebo Samuel, Rashid Shaheed, Jalen Coker, Romeo Doubs, Alec Pierce, George Pickens, maybe. Talent, yes. Wan'Dale Robinson, wide receiver. Did I say Tutu Atwell? I mean, the Shaq Thompson, bring him back. N'Kobe Dean. They need linebacker. They need safety. They need corner. They need center. Linebacker. I've got a bunch of linebackers listed here. So I'll get into that more. Jalen Naylor, wide receiver. I'll get more into that as the off-season starts. But I'm already spinning the cycle for names. Super Bowl is coming up on February 8th. Told myself I wasn't going to watch it, but FanDuel sucks me in. So I'll be watching. Obviously, I want the Seahawks to win for every reason I just talked about earlier. I do think that they should. The Seahawks, this is a rematch of the Super Bowl. Remember the famous Super Bowl where basically Seattle was ready to win on the goal line and they threw a pass instead of running Marshawn Lynch. Malcolm Butler? I'm terrible with names off the top of my head. The dude intercepts it. Patriots win, because that's what the Patriots do. It's like they have a leprechaun up their asses all the time. And this is a rematch. Now, all of those guys on that team, they weren't around for that rematch, but the fans remember. And I think it'd be great. Sign Marshawn Lynch for the Super Bowl. Let him just run one goal line touchdown. Please. That's all I ask. Moving along. Enough about the Bills. I want to talk about something that is absolutely insane to me, and that is Bill Belichick getting snubbed. Now, as I said, it's Wednesday right now. I'm recording this. This might be out tomorrow or Friday, so it might be old news by then, but I don't care because it's relevant. I don't understand what the fuck the committee that votes for these for people to get into the Hall of Fame are basing this on. Now, there's reports that Bill Polian, former GM of the Bills, very famous figure, I think he's the head of the board, or he's part of the board, mentioned that he thought that Belichick should sit out for 1 year, not be a first ballot because of Deflategate and everything else. Now, as a Bills fan, somewhat love that if the Hall of Fame wasn't involved. I do want some sort of goddamn penance for that bullshit that they got away with. But at the same time, get out of here. If Bill Belichick can't make it into the Hall of Fame, get rid of the Hall of Fame. What is the point? You have to understand something. Okay, so the Pro Bowl, all right, that's like the Hall of Fame voting is like a Supreme Court confirmation, and Pro Bowl voting is like American Idol, right? The Hall of Fame is, were you great? And the Pro Bowl is, do I recognize your name? I don't know. And it seems backwards right now. If there ever was a man that had the credentials, I mean, listen to this. Belichick won 301 regular season games as the head coach in Cleveland and, of course, New England, trailing only George Halas and Don Shula. He won 31 postseason games, more than anyone else, captured 17 division titles, 9 AFC championships, and 6 Super Bowls, each of them the most of all time for each of those. And as a defensive coordinator with the Giants, he won 2 more Super Bowls, including the 1986 team that allowed just 23 points in 3 playoff games. I mean, dude, he almost had a perfect season with the Patriots. Now, here's a list of guys that are coaches that are in the Hall of Fame who have way lesser credentials. Tom Flores won 2 Super Bowls with the Raiders, which is fewer than half of Belichick's 6. Mike Ditka, love the name, love the guy, but he won 1 Super Bowl with the 1985 Bears. But that's pretty much it. Dick Vermeil won 1 Super Bowl with the 99 Rams, greatest show on turf. I think that's what was their nickname. Known for incredible turnaround efforts rather than sustained dynasty-level success. Tony Dungy won 1 Super Bowl with the Colts. High winning percentage. Jimmy Johnson, 2 Super Bowls. Webb Eubank. I don't even know who that is. I love the old school guys. Probably an old school guy that played, when they had leather helmets. Like, here's Shorty McGreary. Here's Johnny White Shoes. Remember the Mudville 9? That was a tragedy. Webb Eubank won 2 NFL championships with the Colts and 1 AFL title, Super Bowl III, but lacks the sustained 20 years. I mean, what are we doing here? It's an embarrassment. This is not an original take. I mean, I'm not using words from other takes, but I think we're all sharing the same words. It's absolutely a joke. And that's all I got to say about that. A little bit of a short episode, but I'm a little dejected. I'm a little pissed from the way my Bills finished the season. So I have to pour myself into this a little bit more. We're going to get into some baseball, hockey, even some basketball. We got March Madness coming up. And we'll obviously talk about the NFL offseason. I do want to thank you for tuning in. I really, really, really do appreciate it. Again, my name is Mike Brindisi. You can follow me on all socials at Mike B TV. If you are enjoying GNY Sports, well, it is a side quest of our podcast, Good News York. GNY Sports, Good News York Sports. So you can follow GNY Sports and Good News York on all socials at Good News York, goodnewsyork.com. New episodes of Good News York Monday through Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern, and GNY Sports right here once a week. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Come on. Oh, wow. That was predictable.